Within JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, we've seen the main villains do very heinous, downright deplorable, awful actions. But in doing that, it's made me come to a question that I want answers to. And I feel like I do have an answer today. Who is the kindest JoJo villain? JoJo main villain that we've ever seen. Now, this is a very interesting question, because every main villain is by some definition evil. They do very heinous actions to get to their point and their ambitions and their goals. Now, going down the list of the 9 that we've seen, really 8. I'm not going to include Howler, because again, we're only 30 chapters in. We don't know the heinous or kind things he will do. But going down the list, you have a homicidal vampire, a narcissistic perfect being, a serial killer hand lover, a mafia mob boss, a deranged priest, the president of the United States, and a rock human with a goal to take over Earth. That's what we're looking at. I want that to be known, that is the group of crop that we have, you know what I mean? And sure, if we're talking about dominance, it is a whole different debate, but we're talking about kindness. Which one of them are the kindest, most compassionate? Well, we can take one out, because biologically that just doesn't work for him. Toru, he's not biologically, he doesn't do anything besides for his own personal gain. Like, that's just literally how his species rolls. Like, even when they're in groups together, they're not there for friendship, camaraderie. Fuck out of here. I'm here to make that money, bitch. And then you can also take out Dio and Cars, because both of them are not really kind. Now, with Cars, I'll give him this. The only boost you can give him is the fact that he will protect animals in the face of humans and their reckless behavior that can kill animals. But besides that, yeah, I don't think I can call anything else he did was kind. He literally backstabbed Lisa in the back, which again, he's a villain, okay, whatever. But then he immediately shit talked his 2 closest allies that he had been with basically essentially his entire life. And Dio is literally described as the embodiment of evil multiple times throughout the series. You know, that's the craziest thing. He is described as the embodiment of evil. I cannot call that man kind. Now, does he have some type of morals? Somewhat. There have been instances where Dio has some type of morals based off what he was raised on, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't still do all his vile acts with not a single second thought in the world. Now, these next 3 are very big. Well, next 4 are very big when you come down to deciding. These are essentially the top 4: Kira, Diavolo, Pucci, Funny Valentine. Of these 4, one of these 4 is the most kind, the most moral. Now, one who's in the top running for that, well, one who should be eliminated immediately is probably Diavolo. Yeah, definitely Diavolo. Yeah. I feel like I don't really have to explain anything with him. I mean, he kept his mother underneath a church. So we have Funny Valentine, Yoshikage Kira, and Rico Pucci. Now, for Yoshikage Kira, when you look at the good things he's done, he has, by him taking over that guy's life, he actually made his wife very happy. It's a crazy thing to say. It's a wild thing to say. But he did. And he made the kid's life so much significantly better. He noticed that couldn't be his father. Imagine your dad being so piss poor that this other guy comes in impersonating him, being all nice and shit. He's like, nah, that can't be my father. That nigga mean as a bitch. Like, he did do that, you know. I'm trying to think of some other nice things he did. Can I count the spinoff? It's created by Araki. Dead Man's Questions. Well, at least he was like one of the only ones who didn't have like some goal that would eventually end up leading to like affecting a mass amount of people at once, you know. Because when you look at everyone else, Dio, first it was the Joestar Estate, then it was just, I want to control the world. Then it was, I want to find heaven. And then Cars, I want world domination. Diablo, pushing more influence throughout Europe / Italy. His goal is relatively tame, just finding a random pretty woman's hand after killing them and taking the hand until it just decomposes. So again, most of his feats feel like they're just, he's not that bad, but with Enrico Pucci, you look at his backstory, he was trying to save his brother, his twin brother, and his little sister by telling that random investigator. He just did not have the awareness to know that that investigator was a part of the Triple K. Yeah. Was it his fault? Partially, because, and I only say that because you live in the South, right? You spend your whole life in the South. I'm someone who spent his whole life in the South. You should know that there's like a 20% chance. I'm trolling. But, and even when you look at Pucci's goal, his overall overarching goal was to essentially make people aware of their fates so that they wouldn't fight it or change it, you know. So it's not necessarily the worst thing. It would just make people essentially a slave to fate. And that was his whole plan. And he felt like it would make the world better. Also, you want to know something in this video? I don't really talk about kills like that, because the thing with all of these guys are, they all have very gruesome kills under their belt, under their notch. You know what I mean? Like very, very gruesome, to the point where it's just like, okay, if I start talking about killing, it wouldn't be fair, because everyone up here is literally by definition a serial killer. Speaking of serial killers, Funny Valentine, nicest, kindest, Funny Valentine. I don't know if I can say that. You know, the thing with Funny Valentine is a lot of people get mixed up in his words. They get mixed up in the fact, oh well, I'm doing this for America. You know, I'm trying to help America. I don't want no evil to fall on us. But they don't think about the nuance in which that means if no evil falls on America, and they keep doing America shit, does that just mean evil falls on Europe or Asia or Africa or some third world country? Like, his whole thing was just globalization, mass manifest destiny, if you know what I mean. If you were really in them US history classes paying attention in high school, you know what I mean. Mass manifest destiny. He was on that type shit. So I can't call him the kindest. His method would have quite literally led to the killing of millions of people. Like, and that was literally reflected in this nigga's upgraded stand, Love Train. Oh yeah, my stand. You can't hit me. No misfortune falls on me. So this bullet you're sending is gonna hit some random Vietnamese farmer. Yeah. I came to my decision though. Pucci's definitely the kindest, if out of the bunch. If we're picking him, you know, he's a priest. When you look at his backstory, he himself necessarily didn't do anything evil. He was literally told that secret by his twin brother's adoptive, I guess, mother, and he couldn't tell anyone because he was told that in the convict to make it worse, you know. And on top of that, his actual plan and what he really wanted to do wasn't the worst thing ever. It was just the fact that he wanted to do that on top of getting rid of the Joestar bloodline forever. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. So anything helps. And until next time, peace.